For the love of Chicago, my name is Tom Barnes in the Woodlawn community area, just down the street from the Obama Center, opening up in June. 63rd Street was one of the major corridors of the Woodlawn community, and Daley's has been on that street and a part of the fabric of this neighborhood for over 100 years. They have a new spot right at 63rd in Cottage Grove. I'm gonna go inside now to talk to the owners about the history of this wonderful spot here in Woodlawn. Let's go inside. So you see that space there, that is the southeast side of Cottage Grove at 63rd. That is the original spot of Daley's restaurant. Here we are on the other side with the owner, Mike. Mike, how you doing, man?
Good, good. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Give me your fancy title. I know you're owner, but give me your full name and all the good stuff.
Yeah, my name is Mike Zara. I'm the owner of Daley's Restaurant.
That's something, man, because Daley's, as it says on your shirt, been around since 1892. That predates the World's Columbian Exposition down in Woodlawn and Jackson Park.
That's correct.
So what's your story? How have you been a part of this? I imagine some family ties.
You're absolutely correct. It's been in my family since 1918. Originally, it was opened in 1892 by Irish iron worker named John Daley. And they were building the elevated line over here in Chicago, and he saw a need for a food facility. So he decided to open a restaurant, and he named it after himself, Daley's Restaurant.
Why not, right?
My great uncle worked for him as a waiter, and his friend Paul was a cook. And in 1918, John Daley decided to sell, and he asked my great uncle and his friend if they wanted to buy, and of course they agreed. They jumped at the opportunity, and it's been in my family ever since.
And when you say building the elevated line, you're referring to that elevated line that's still there to this day. That's 63rd Street. Cottage Grove is the intersection, but that is synonymous with Woodlawn, that L running right down 63rd Street. And I imagine you've heard stories about what Woodlawn was like back in the day on 63rd Street, because we're like at the center of Woodlawn in this intersection.
I've heard many stories from my uncle, from customers, that it was just booming around here. Jazz clubs, nightlife, restaurants, bars. Muhammad Ali used to train down the street at Johnny Coulan's gym on 63rd at University.
Come on.
Across the street from my grandfather's restaurant. He used to come and eat there every day. So there's a lot of history around this area that a lot of people don't know about, but I mean, you could see from photos, or you could do research and just see how lively this area was back in the day.
And you guys have seen it all. You've been here, except for a brief time in the 30s when they tried to rebuild the building across the street for the first time.
Right.
They ran into some trouble because of that thing called the Great Depression and the stock market crash.
100%, yeah. So my great uncle and his partner wanted to make a new building. They had the foundation dug, and they had financing set up from the bank. Bank failed, and they lost everything. So they were out of luck, to say the least. They had both get jobs at Deppy Baking Company as delivery drivers. So they worked there for 5 years, saved enough money, borrowed more money from friends and other businesses that they knew, and they rebuilt New Daley's Restaurant in 1937.
And that was there up until 2019?
Correct.
And then you guys jumped over here on this side?
Right. Then we moved across the street into a brand new building in 2019, and we made it through the pandemic, luckily, and with help from others. And we're very grateful to have the opportunity to be here and still be in business and serve the community.
Yeah, you mentioned, and we haven't even talked about the food yet. I mean, obviously that's probably why you guys have been around for so long. We'll get to the food in a second. I see somebody delivering food behind you, which looks amazing. But you are a community spot, a hub for Woodlawn. It's a staple. When people come to Woodlawn, they come to Daley's, and they've been doing it for generations. But why? Like, what gives them that feeling of community here?
Well, I guess people just gravitate towards this restaurant. It's a family-oriented atmosphere. You know, we're perfect for Sunday lunch or dinner after church, and we're basically like the get it done diner. You know, fair prices, you know, good service. We're consistent. We're here to serve the community every day of the year.
There's a lot history all over the place on the walls. In particular, one I saw when you were walking me through the space of the electric parade. And that happened with people in your family, and that's what makes that photo so amazing. Can you explain that one?
So in 1920, the city of Chicago switched over from gas lights, street lights, to electric. And it was a big deal, obviously, because you know, you have consistent lighting, you know, without having to refill the canister, you know, to get light. And they had a parade for it. And luckily, I have a picture of it with my great uncle in it, and a couple of his coworkers, and they were involved with the parade too. They had a Daley's restaurant banner on the side of the car, so it's pretty cool to see that.
And then you also were talking to me about when you moved here to this space. There's a big deal because it was a new building, a new build in Woodlawn, which was a thing that didn't really happen a lot up until recently. Things have started to be reinvested in the neighborhood. But one of the members of the original family came up to you, talked to you, and offered photos of when they first opened across the street.
Yeah, so John Daley, the original owner and for Daley's Restaurants, great-great-granddaughter came in one day, and she's like, I think my great-great-grandfather opened this restaurant. And I'm like, you're kidding me. And she goes, I have photos I'm going to send you. And sure enough, she had photos of the grand opening of Daley's Restaurant, which just blew my mind.
In 1892?
In 1892,
That's unbelievable.
So luckily she brought them, and we were able to get them framed and put them on the wall and add to our collection.
And so, of course, we haven't talked about the food, but the food, I imagine, has been one of the many reasons why people come in here. What are the food options here when they come in?
We have a full breakfast menu, lunch and dinner menu, although we open at 7 a.m., but we close at 5 p.m. Everything's available. Dinner's usually available at like 10 a.m. So we get people coming from the University of Chicago hospitals that are maybe getting off shift, and they want dinner because their hours are mixed up from work. So that's available.
What are some of the staples of the dinner?
Dinner, we have like baked chicken, macaroni and cheese, collard greens, black-eyed peas. We have oven-baked turkey wings with drumstick combination plate with cornbread, homemade cornbread dressing. For breakfast, we have homemade biscuits. We make them every morning. Those are very popular. We got skillets, scramblers, omelets, all your basic stuff. We have about 4 different steaks on our menu, which a lot of places don't have anymore.
4 different steaks?
Yeah, so we have T-bone steak, ribeye steak, butt steak, and a chop steak on the menu. A lot of places you go to, like breakfast places or whatnot, they might have 1, we got 4. So we have a lot of options for everybody. We have shrimp fettuccine Alfredo all the way to salt pork. So salt pork belly is something that it's been on our menu for years. A lot of people stopped serving it. We still serve it. We pretty much have something for everyone. So if we got a group of 20 people, all 20 people are going to find something they want off our menu.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Just some of the things I haven't had in so long, because as you said, they're just not available anymore.
Right.
I imagine some of those recipes, though, go back far as what you guys make.
They do. Our biscuit recipe goes back probably 40 years.
Yeah.
The majority of our menu is made from scratch. So, I mean, we got homemade peach cobbler, homemade sweet potato pie.
And you've been a part of this restaurant since 1995?
Yes, so it's 15 years old, yeah.
How did that happen?
I just came to work with my dad one day and just never left.
And here you are.
Yeah, here I am.
Well, so now that you are the owner, and here we are in 2026, what does it mean to you to be able to still call this place a part of the family?
It means everything. It's my home. This is my home. It means everything to me. And to be able to work with a lot of my coworkers for so many years, you know, we're like a family over here. You know, and we run it like that, and we're just grateful to be a part of it and to be a part of the community, continue to serve the community.
Well, and not only that, but Woodlawn has seen more unfair than not of disinvestment, but you guys have been here. You've been the beacon of light to give people a space to come eat, to sit down. As you said, you're not paying right at the counter. You're sitting down, which there's just not anything else really in this entire area.
Right. Yeah, so, you know, there's a lot of fast food places, a lot of places that they don't offer sit-down dining unless you go maybe to like Hyde Park or somewhere, you know, a little bit further away. But up and down 63rd Street, there's not really too much. So we do offer, and we have offered sit-down dine-in facility since 1892.
For people who are maybe going to be coming down to this area, either to the museum or when the Obama Center is fully open, why do they need to come here and make the effort to go a little bit further west down 63rd Street to visit Daley's?
We got good service, good food at a fair price. And a lot of places don't have service. You walk up to a counter and you order, you sit down somewhere, brings you food, and the last you ever see of them. We got a full service facility over here with a full wait staff, available 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 7 days a week.
And you mentioned earlier that part of your family grew up in this area. I think you said your mother's side?
My mother's whole side of her family is from the south side of Chicago. My mother came here when she was 1 year old from Greece, and her whole family was here. Her great uncle, the one that purchased Daley's restaurant, Tom Kairos from John Daley in 1918. He came here when he was 13 years old with nothing. He was supposed to meet some relative in Ellis Island, and no one ever showed up for him. So he made his own way to Chicago on his own at 13 years old, didn't speak any English, only spoke Greek, was sleeping on park benches, and he somehow ended up getting a job at Daley's restaurant. And from then, he's been here ever since.
Ultimate all-American story right there of just that immigrants coming to this country and finding their way.
Yeah, he got you back to the wall, and he fought. I mean, I can't imagine what he went through, but I'm sure it was far from being easy.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't run a restaurant in this city for more than 5 years without coming into some trials and tribulations. But to do it for over 100 years, since 1892, that is something special. I really got to say.
Yeah.
I'm honored that you were able to take time and talk to me. Anything else you want to say about Daley's?
No, just we're waiting for you with our aprons on.
Awesome. Well, Mike, thank you so much. Appreciate
you.
it. All right, that's the story of Daley's here in Woodlawn, right off the Cottage Grove Green Line stop, thomas.barnas@cbs.com. If you have a For Love of Chicago story, and there's the wonderful wind blowing off the lake. Otherwise, come on down and check out Daley's. Great spot in Woodlawn.